Welcome to Mr. Mover Manager Help. Today we're going to talk about the salesperson's calendar. The salesperson's calendar allows you to set up appointments outside the office for your salespeople. To get a salesperson's name to appear in the calendar, you need to go into Operations, Resources, Employees, and open up the Employees file. So we'll go to Craig Nettesheim here and open up the employee file. In the Details tab, you will see a checkbox that says Show in Appointment Calendar. So you need to make sure that that checkbox is checked, and then the name will appear in the salesperson's calendar. Let's first get familiar with the layout of the calendar. On the left-hand side, you see months of the year that you can click on a day and have it change the date. You'll notice August 17th. This is how you can quickly change the date on the calendar. You also have a day view, which is what we're on right now, a week view, and when you're in the week view you need to select which salesperson you want to see, because you only can see one salesperson at a time. So if you want to see Eric, you click on his tab, or Joe Salesman. Same thing with the month. You have the same issues clicking on the right salespeople. Normally what you're going to want to use is the day view so that you can see all the salespeople and get the time of the day listed on the left-hand side. You have a scroll bar on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, to scroll down so you can see more of your day. Along the top menu bar, we offer a number of options. You can select which company you want to see within the salesperson's calendar. You can print a schedule. We'll go into that later. You can refresh the calendar. If you've left this tab open for quite a while, you can click refresh to see if there's any changes made by someone else. If you want to get to today's date, you simply click this and it'll bring you to today's date. You can use the previous and next buttons to change one day at a time. And the sync with Google Calendar, if you're using Google Calendar and have it set up in the personnel file, this allows you to download any appointments that were established in Google Calendar, will then get downloaded into Mr. Mover Manager. To increase the speed of loading this salesperson's calendar, we only include appointments 2 weeks in the past. Any appointments later than that, or I should say earlier than that, will not appear unless you check this box which says include appointments before 2 weeks ago. So that way, if you need to see something a month ago, you need to check that box, then we will download all the appointments for everybody, and you can see everything from that point. To set up a new appointment for a salesperson, if you're in the day view, you simply go to the salesperson, go to the time that you want, and you double click on it on that spot, and it will open up a new appointment window within the salesperson's calendar. Because I created this appointment from the day view, it automatically puts in the time that I had clicked on for the 8 o'clock. And within your system settings, you have the ability to set up a default appointment length of time, which mine is set at 2 hours, so it automatically sets the completion time at 10 o'clock. Now, if you want to set up an appointment on a week view, you're on my name for Tuesday, you double click, it's going to open up the same window. The only difference is it won't have any time in here. It's just going to show all day events. So you have to uncheck that and set the time yourself. The same is true for the month view. If you are setting up an appointment to go see a customer that's been entered into Mr. Mover, to tie that customer file to this appointment, you simply go to the field here called Customer File. You're going to drop that list down, and we're going to show you a list of all the customers that you currently have open in Mr. Mover. You can see up here I have Tom Hanking's file open. If I had multiple customers open, it would list all the customers, because we need to know which customer you're going to set up the appointment for. So I'm just going to click on Tom's name here, and it's going to automatically fill in the subject that you're doing a local estimate. It shows the city, the zip code, the address, origin address, and it includes all the addresses down here. So I simply save and close, and it is going to put in the week view here for Tuesday the 26th the appointment. If I go to the day view, it shows it here also. Once I've done that, if I go to Tom Hanking's file, the on-site appointment field right here is where you can see that it automatically records who the salesperson is that's going out to see them, the date and time that they're going out there. So we automatically tie the appointment to the customer file and the customer file to the appointment. Now let's go back to the salesperson's calendar, and let's say Eric wants to have has a doctor's appointment all day on the 26th and will not be into work. So you can simply double click on his name, and in the subject line here you can type anything you want. Alright, and we'll just change this time to have him out all day, like that. Save and close, and you can see now that he has an appointment set up for from 8 to 5 on the 26th, so that people know not to set up any appointments for him at that time. Once an appointment's been made, we give you quite a bit of flexibility. If you click on the appointment, you then have the ability to drag it. So you can drag it up to a different time. So if Tom calls and says 8 o'clock won't work, I need it to be 9 o'clock, you can simply click on it and drag it down, and it will lock it in there. If I go back to his file, it automatically records that now the appointment's set at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. You also have the ability to right click on an appointment, and since this particular appointment is tied to a customer file, we give you the ability to open the customer file right from here. Let's see, we show you the first move date. We also give you, for all appointments, we give you the ability to add this appointment to your Outlook calendar if you're using Outlook. The one thing to keep in mind is we are only adding this appointment to the Outlook calendar on the particular machine that you're clicking this button. For instance, if I have Outlook on this machine, it is going to add to the Outlook calendar here. If I wanted to email this appointment to the salesperson, I click here, and it is going to create an email with the salesperson's email address in that we pull from their employee file, and it will create the appointment in an Outlook format so that when they receive the email, it'll automatically get added to their Outlook. So that's a way to get an appointment to someone else's Outlook calendar. Update of subject line simply gives you the ability to change that. Subject, you can actually open the appointment, opens up that, and you can delete the appointment. If I delete it, it's going to ask me if I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. Go back to Tom Hank, and there's no longer an appointment set up for him. We'll go to this one, and then you just have cancel. Let's now open up this appointment again, and I'll show you a couple other features. You have the ability to put in an expected arrival time. That is something that you can either grab a time from the drop-down, or you can type something in. The purpose for that is there was some confusion among some of my customers where they didn't know if 8 o'clock meant the time they were supposed to leave the office or arrive to the customer's house. So we added that field in case they wanted to use that. You can also set up a reminder, just like in Outlook. If you want to be reminded about this appointment, check this box at the time that you want to be reminded, and it will pop up a little window. As long as you have the salesperson's calendar tab open, it will pop up a reminder on that salesperson's Mr. Mover program. You have the ability to change the barcode color. So if for some reason you want to designate a red being something else, you can do that. And all it does is change this little bar on the left-hand side here, different colors. I'll double click again to reopen it. You have a place here for appointment notes, and those are designed for the person taking the appointment to communicate to the salesperson something specific about this appointment. Not necessarily about the job, because there's other places to record that. This is just regarding the appointment, like call 15 minutes before you arrive, or go to the back door, that type of thing. You'll notice in the menu bar we offer save and close. When you're done with the appointment, click that to save and close it. You can also set up recurring appointments. So if you have a sales meeting 8 o'clock every Tuesday, you can click that, set that up. It'll allow you to set up everything that you need. Here's the same button where you can add it to Outlook or email it to the salesperson. You can delete the appointment or close. Same thing that you can do if you right click on the appointment. If you need to change the appointment from one day to another day, the easiest way to do that is change your view to your week view or your month view. Get on the salesperson that you want, and here's the doctor's appointment on Tuesday. You can simply click on it to highlight it, and then you can move it to whatever day you'd like to. Or you can simply double click on it, and you have the ability to change the dates in here also. The results are the same. If you are using Google Calendar and you want to sync appointments between Mr. Mover Manager and Google, you need to go into the employees file again, and let's just open mine up here. And once again, in the Details tab, we have a section here, Google Calendar Credentials. This is where you need to put in your email address and password that you used to get into Google Calendar. Then you can verify it. And once you have that set up, we will then automatically start syncing with Google Calendar. And one of the nice features of the Google Calendar is when you set up an appointment in Mr. Mover Manager on the salesperson's calendar, it will as soon as you save and close that appointment, it automatically sends it out to Google Calendar as a new appointment. The only time you need to hit the Sync Google Calendar button is to get appointments that were added in the Google Calendar back over into the Mr. Mover Manager calendar. If you need to, you have the ability to print appointments out on paper so that you can give that to a salesperson so they can take the paper out to an appointment. To show you this, I'm going to set up the appointment once more for Tom. So I have an appointment in there, save and close. So now what I want to do is I want to print out this appointment for me, and I also am just going to print out the one for Eric. So to do that, on the day that you have, you hit the Print Schedule button. It's going to open up a new tab called the Salesperson Schedule Report. Here it's going to have the date that I was on the salesperson's appointment calendar, but you can change it if you want to have multiple days or just change the day. And then what salesperson do you want to run the report for? Because I'm the person logged in, it assumes I just want my appointments, but I'm going to put in Eric also. I'll even put in Joe Salesman. Now I have the option of either showing one appointment per page, or if I uncheck this box, it will put 2 appointments per page. I hit the Create button. It's going to do its thinking. And what it does is it creates a page for each person. You can see Craig and Eric here. And on mine, you can see it's going to fill in all the information. It even puts in more information on here than what is in the actual appointment, because we pull some actual data from the customer file. We'll fill in, you know, all the different phone numbers and how the customer heard about us and extra information. So and then I can click on Eric's and it shows his doctor's appointment. You can then either hit the print button to print it out, or you can actually email this report to a salesperson. So that's the report. So we'll close out of that. Now the last thing I want to show you is you have the ability to control what order a salesperson shows up on this list here. If you go into the employee list, and we'll open up my employee file again, in the Details tab we have a schedule priority. This number right here is going to dictate the order that the salespeople show up in the salesperson's calendar. Keep in mind that if you don't put a number in here, by default the system puts a 0. A 0 is a lower number than a 1, which means zeros will show up before a 1. So if you're going to use the schedule priority, you want to make sure that you give everybody a number so you have the right order. You also have the ability to control the color that shows up on the calendar. So you can set what color you want within the salesperson's calendar. See all the different colors, so you can set those also. Well, that is everything about the salesperson's calendar. I hope that helped.